Hi everyone, my name is Jocelyn. For those of you who don't know me, I am co-leader of Women's Ministries with Amanda, and I've been at Strongsville Bible for about 20 years now. I'm really excited and a little nervous to be here, and definitely excited about what God is doing right now in this study. Just the way it came about and how it was on both of our hearts to do something, but we didn't know what, and the topic, everything. Like, it's all just been like God things from the very beginning and how this all came about. And so I'm really excited um, to be here. I'm really excited to see how God uses this study, and hopefully this format is something that you guys are kind of getting adjusted to. It's a little bit different, but these are a little bit different times than we're used to. So we appreciate you guys hanging in there with us and your patience as we figure out how to navigate all of this. Um, the plan is for me to be here on Mondays and lead the Monday, and Amanda will do the Thursday. So we'll see how that goes. I think the topic of trust is really relevant right now. Obviously, with everything that's going on in our nation, in our world, it's just something that is on all of our hearts. Like, are we trusting God? Are we trusting ourselves? Are we trusting Trump? Are we trusting, trust is a huge, huge issue in our lives right now. It's actually my year word, the word I had for the year. And I was a little bit nervous when I felt like God gave me that word. I'm like, oh, what does this mean? How are you going to do this? How is this going to work out? And it's been kind of a crazy year, to be honest with you. So anyway, I'm really excited. Today we're doing day 3 of the study, which is alarmed and resolved at the same time. And it opens in 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 3. And I'm just going to read that. It's alarmed, Jehoshaphat resolved to inquire of the Lord, and he proclaimed a fast for all of Judah. A little bit backstory on Jehoshaphat, excuse me. And what was happening is he was a small country where he was about to be going to war. He was or be attacked, and he was really the underdog in this situation. So he definitely had reason to be alarmed. So what did he do when he was alarmed? When he heard the news that he was going to be attacked by, larger forces than he was thinking he was capable of dealing with? Did he post it on Facebook? Did he call his mom? Did he eat chips and cry? No. It says that he resolved to inquire of the Lord. That was his first, wow, this is bad. I need to talk to God. I just think that's wonderful. What an awesome example. Not only did he instantly turn to the Lord, he didn't go to God panicking and rambling and telling God how he could never win and how he had all these ideas of what he should do instead. Maybe we should hide. Maybe we should do this. Maybe, is this at the end of me? He didn't go with all of that before God. He went resolved, and then he required everybody to have a fast. So he said, let's be still and wait till we get an answer from God. So I think it's telling us it's okay to be alarmed. It's okay and we kind of talked about this a little bit last week too with fear. It's okay. God knows that we're going to have fear, and that's a perfectly normal part of life. It's how we deal with it, and what we do with it that kind of changes and shapes who we are in our relationship with the Lord. Are we alarmed and then resolved to seek Jesus for answers? Or are we alarmed and running everywhere else for answers? Everywhere else, the social media, our friends, our parents, are we instantly thinking, I got to fix this? Who can help me fix this? Or are we instantly thinking, I need to go to God and I need to talk to God about this? Philippians 4, 6 through 7 says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. How do we bring our fears to God with thanksgiving? because we know it's all in His control. We can be thankful that even though we are going through something difficult, and even though we are afraid, we have reason to be afraid. He has never left us. Deuteronomy 3:6 says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you or forsake you." That's why we are able to be thankful when we have reason to be afraid. Have you ever stopped and really thought about how to be thankful when you're, or being thankful and afraid at the same time? Something alarming happens and you want to, let's say you're resolved to go to God. Are you able to go to God and be thankful at the same time that you're presenting your request to Him? The only way to do that is if we are thoroughly immersed in the goodness of God and we are remembering that, yeah, this situation is scary, but He has it under control. This is not outside the realm of what God is able to do or what God is doing, because we have no idea what He's doing in the background of all of these situations that we might be going through. And this is not outside of his jurisdiction. This isn't something new to Him. This is something that we can be thankful that we serve and trust a God that has it under control. So when we go with our alarming fears, this is happening and I don't know what to do. But thank you, Lord, that you have it under control. Thank you that I can rest in your arms and know that you are taking care of me, that you will never leave me or forsake me, that you will give me a peace that passes all understanding. I know Amanda has mentioned that this study that we're doing is part of Elisa Turkhurst, her trustworthy study. This is like a little devotional that kind of goes along with it. And I'm really hoping that we will have the opportunity to do that study as a church or as a group or something in some way. I have the book and it looks really good. It is a really intense study with videos and homework and all that kind of thing that we've done in the past. But so anyway, I have the book and I've kind of just been looking through to see what I can glean from that for what we're doing here. And in the back of the book is something that's really cool. It has 10 statements of truth to declare, if I can speak, your trust in God. So this is a 10-day study that we're doing now. We're just breaking it into 2 days a week. So I'm going to read for you guys the first 3, and I've actually included it in the email. And then we'll just kind of, from now on, we'll do the day that the number that coincides with the day that we're doing. So Amanda will do 4, I'll do 5, etc. But these are just really great little reminders and has a verse and it just great little things to help us remember and declare our trust in God and resolve to declare our trust in God. So I'm just going to read the first 3 for you. For day 1, it said, "Today I declare doubt must flee because I can trust you at all times." And the verse is Psalm 62:8. "Trust in Him at all times, O people. Pour out your heart before Him. God is a refuge for us. Selah." And then she says, "Whether my faith feels strong today or not, I can trust God at all times. God, whether I can see or feel utterly in the dark, I honestly come to you about the places and situations where I find myself living in doubt. God, I know that you are a refuge for me in every place and situation. Help grow my faith in places I'm doubting your promises, your provision, or your presence." And then day 2 is, "Today I declare doubt must flee because the Lord alone is my trust." And the verse for that one is Psalm 40, verse 4. "Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, who does not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after a lie." And then her little prayer here is, "When I find myself faced with uncertainty, I am tempted to run to other things than you. I know that you oppose the proud and give grace to the humble. So today I ask for your grace as I practice running straight to you in humility rather than running away from you in fear. When I am triggered by something and tempted to pull away, I pray I remember the safety and comfort found in your embrace every single time I choose to run to you. That's why we can be thankful. And then today is day 3. It says, today I declare doubt must flee because I'm shifting from self-sufficiency to sacrifice, putting trust back in God's hands. And there's 2 verses. The first one is Psalm 4:5. Offer right sacrifices and put your trust in the Lord. And then the second one is Romans 12, verse 1. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. And then the prayer for this one is, from the time I wake up in the morning until it's time for me to go to sleep, I know there are things begging for my attention other than you, God. The weight of my problems beg me to give in to self-made solutions that leave no room for you to move. I pray today would not be a day of self-sufficiency, but a day of self-sacrifice. I offer myself to you as a living sacrifice because I know that you are worthy of my trust. And I never really thought about this, but it says the weight of my problem begs me to give man-made solutions that leave no room for you to move. So not only when we go to God with our alarm and our plan for how this works, not only are we not trusting him, but we're not giving him room to do what he needs to do. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm not letting God be God. So anyway, there's one for every day, and I think they're great little reminders of how we can put our trust back in God, and things that can help us remember why we want to put our trust back in God. So they're in the document for you that's attached to the email, and we'll just include it every time we do a study, the next day's one, so that by the end of it you'll have all 10. And I think that they're just going to be really good ways for us to put a verse and a statement together. And maybe we can even print them out and just try to remember every time that something is alarming. Try to pull something from one of these. Today I'm declaring that doubt must flee. That's day 1, because I can trust you at all times. And today I declare doubt must flee because the Lord alone is my trust. And just wonderful reminders for us that we're going to have doubts. We're going to have fears. This is right now in our world a really good example of doubts and fears. But we don't have to face those alone. We don't have to face them with just friends and family, which are wonderful. It's wonderful to have the support of your friends and your family. And honestly, don't know what I would do without my mom. And when I'm in the middle of fear, but that's not what should be our core source of fuel in these situations. It should be God. We should be going to God first. We should be putting the trust in God first and leaving it with him. And like Jehoshaphat, resolved to inquire of the Lord and proclaim a fast because he wanted to hear from God. So we should be doing that as well, so that we can put it to God, give it to God, leave it with God, and wait to hear what God has to say about it. So let's practice what Lisa says in the devotional. It says, it's okay to be afraid. Well, let's not live afraid. Thanks, guys.